Good morning, children. Continuation to the previous topic. I hope all of you completed the Euclid's division lemma and practice twice or thrice. Until you practice twice or thrice, you won't be able to understand the Euclid's division lemma. Now, basing on the Euclid's division lemma, we have the next theorem, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. This is very, very important. This fundamental theorem of arithmetic says that every composite number can be expressed as a product of primes. That is basically the concept of a fundamental theorem of arithmetic. But how does it depends on the Euclid's division lemma? Euclid's division lemma, what we have learnt, a and b are some positive, a is a positive number, we are dividing with b, and there exists the relation between them as a is equal to bq plus r, where a is a dividend, b is a divisor, q is a quotient, and r is the remainder. In all the cases, remainder should be less than the divisor. So this remainder always lies between 0 and B means a divisor. 0 is less than or equal to R is less than B. This is the Euclid's division lemma says. So next, suppose how do it is related with the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, that we will learn it by prime factorization. We have to write with the prime factorization is a basic element in it. How shall we write that 12? 12 will be written as 2 into 2 into 3. I hope all of you know how to get this 2 into 2 into 3. Like LCM model, if you do it for 12, it is 2 into 2 into 3. So I write this as 2 into 2 into 3. Some children may write it as 2 into 3 into 2, and some other children may write it as 2 into 2 into 2. However, the order you write 12 could be written only as 2 twos and 1 3, not more than that. Means the order may be changed. Here the 3 is in the middle, and here the 3 is in the first, and here the 3 is in the last. So however we write, this prime factorization is unique. Means you can't add here another 5 or another 7 or 11 or anything else other than this 2 and 3. That is what you have to learn in this. So apart from the order you leave it, the prime factorization is unique. Means no one can write other than the two twos and 3 for the prime factors for 12. So you can't write the 5, you can't write the 7, you can't write the 11, and so on. So this order may not be unique, but the numbers are unique. 2 into 2 into 3, or 2 into 3 into 2, or 3 into 2. So this is how you have to write it, right? And similarly, 18 you take it. It is 2 into 3 into 3. This is how I write. Some children will write 3 into 2 into 3 and 3 into 3. However you write, you can write only as 2 threes and 1 twos. So the order may be different in it. However, the order is different. The prime factorization is unique. For 24, again the same, 2 into 2 into 2 into 3, or 2 into 3 into 2 into 2, or 3 into 2, and so on. As many as you want, you can write it. But only the thing is, you can't write any other number other than these 2 and 3's in prime factorization of 24, like 5 and 7, etc. So what happens here? It is a unique number. This is a 12 is a composite number, and it could be explained as product of primes. Similarly, 18 is a composite number, and you could express it as product of primes. 24 is a composite number, you could express as product of primes. Now, if you carefully observe, in all the cases, you have more than two factors. More than two factors. Now, coming to the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, the definition says every composite number can be expressed as the product of primes. Every composite number can be expressed as product of primes. Suppose you have taken 6. 6 is a composite number. Hence, you can show it as 2 into 3, where 2 and 3 are the prime factors of it. Suppose you have taken something like 30. You can write it as 2 into 3 into 5. So where 30 becomes a composite number. So every composite number can be expressed as product of primes. And this factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occurs. Means that's what I told you. The order may be different. However, the order is different. The numbers that we are writing in the prime factorization is unique. You can't write other than these numbers as its prime factors. So every composite number can be expressed as product of primes, and this factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occurs. This definition must be learned define fundamental theorem of arithmetic is a question related to it. And it's vice versa. Similarly, a number could be expressed as a product of primes, then we can say that number is a composite number. So if any number that you could write it as a product of primes, so you can write this number, you can tell this number as a composite number. So 2 into 3 into 3 is a composite number. 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 is a composite number, and so on. You can tell that. So every composite number can be written as a product of primes, or if any number is written in the form of product of primes, then that product is equal to a composite number. Then the number can be called as a composite number. This is what you have to learn in your fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Now, coming to the next one, here exercise 1.2, the first Roman, express each of the following as a product of primes. All of you know how to do the prime factorization. So here first you are given the question as 140. 140 can be written as 2 into 70. So this 2 into, again this can be written as 2 into 35. Now again this 35 can be written as 5 into 7. So ultimately, you can write it as 2 square into 5 into 7 as the primes, as a product of primes of 140. Similarly, 156 we can write 2 into 78. Next 2 into this 78 can be written as 2 into 39, and this 39 can be written as 3 into 13, and further factorization is not possible. 2 into 2 into 3 into 13. You can see all the prime numbers, so which you can write it as 2 square into 3 into 13. Okay. 2 square into 3 into 13. Similarly, the third one 3825, which can be written as 5 into 765. Then this 765 is again divisible by 5. Therefore, you can write it as 5 into 153. This 153 can be again divided as 3 into 51. This 51 can be again divided into 3 into 17. So that is why you can, that is how you can write the prime factorization of 3825 as 5 square into 3 square into 17. Now 5005, 5 into 1001. Now 5 into this 1001 is divisible by 7. So we can write it as 7 into 143. So this 5 into 7 into 143 is nothing but 11 into 13. So 11 and 13 are the prime. 5, 7, 11, 13 are the prime factors of 5005. So here only the last sum I left it, and you have to do it. 7429, 7429. As it is an odd number, 7 plus 4, 11. 11 plus 2 is 13. 13 plus 9 is 22. It is not divisible by 3 also. You have to go with some other number, and you have to find out the prime factorization related to it and complete the sum. Complete the first Roman. This is about the first Roman. If you still do not understand, tomorrow I'll tell you. But I think you can do it. I have explained you all these numbers, therefore you can do it. So check with which number it is divisible and find out the final answer related to it. Now, coming to the next one. If it is only a composite number, then it is, sorry, if it is a prime number, then we cannot write the prime factorization as 1 other than 1 and 724, 7429. Remaining all the numbers can be written as it. So here these numbers are actually divisible by 17. This can be divisible. 7429 is divisible by 17, and it is also divisible by 19 also. Check once, then you find out. 17 and 19 it is divisible. So if you go for remaining numbers, it is not possible. So I left it, you have to complete this. Now coming to your second sum of your 1.2 exercise. Find out the LCM and HCF by prime factorization method. You have to find out the LCM and HCF. This is another model. No doubt every one of us know how to find out the HCF and LCM by division method. But now we will learn in another formula, another way. Now first we'll do the prime factorization for 12. We can write it as 2 into 2 into 3. And means what? 2 is repeated for 2 times, so you write it as 2 square, and 3 is repeated for 1 time, so write 3 power 1. Now 15 is 3 into 5. So we'll write it as 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. Next 21 is equal to 3 into 7. So we write it as 3 power 1 and 7 power 1. Right? Now directly you can write the HCF of it. HCF means what? Highest common factor. Highest will be the term used. But here whatever the common number present in all the three of them, suppose you have here 3 square, here 3 power 4 and 3 power 3. then we are going to take 3 square only. Though the word highest we use it, we will be taking only the smallest number that repeats in all the three numbers, either the three numbers or the four numbers, as many as you have. But the smallest of all the numbers which is repeating to be taken as your HCF. So 3 power 1 is present in all the three. Is there any other number which is present? No. So here HCF is equal to 3 power 1, which is equal to 3. I hope all of you understand. Suppose you have 3 square here and 3 power 3 here and 3 power 4 here. But still you need to take 3 power 2 only. No doubt we use the word highest, but we will be keep taking only the smallest number of all those three, provided if they have common in all the three terms. If it is not there, then you have to write HCF is equal to 1. If you cannot write any common number, then you have to write HCF is equal to 1. So only the common numbers which are present in all the three, and also the common numbers, the smallest one, you are going to take it and write it as HCF. So here HCF is equal to 3. Now LCM, we have to take all the numbers including the HCF. But though we use the word lowest common multiple low, but we are going to take the highest number of it. So here 2 square is there, 3 power 1 which is common in it there. So 2 square I have written, 3 power 1 I have written. In addition to that you have 5 power 1 and also 7 power 1. Means you are not supposed to leave anything left over. So for HCF, it should be common in all the three terms. For LCM, it need not be common. It should be common numbers will be taken. The remaining numbers also must be taken to find out the LCM of it. So this is equal to 2 square, 3 power 1 into 5 power 1 into 7 power 1. So 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, 12 5s are 60, 67s are 420. So the LCM is equal to 420. Now coming to the second question, 17, 23 and 29. If you carefully observe, all the three are prime numbers. 17 can be written as 17 into 1, 23 can be written as 723 into 120. You can't write the prime factorization for it other than those two numbers. So we write it as 17 power 1, 23 power 1 and 29 power 1. So here HCF is nothing. HCF is equal to 1. I did not write. You have to write it, children. HCF is equal to 1. Since there is no common number other than these three uncommon numbers only, you will be taking that HCF is equal to 1, and LCM is equal to 17 into 23 into 29, which in turn is equal to 11,339. Right here HCF also, children, HCF is equal to 1. Means generally the HCF of prime numbers is always coprime numbers is always 1. HCF of two coprime numbers or three coprime numbers is always equal to 1. Now coming to the next one, 8, 9, 25. So here 8 is equal to 2 into 2 into 2. We have written as 2 cube. 9 is equal to 3 into 3, which is 3 square, and 25 is equal to 5 into 5. So since you do not have any common factors, you'll be writing HCF is equal to 1, LCM is equal to 2 cube into 3 square into 5 square, which is equal to 1800. Now coming to the fourth one, 72 into 108. 72 is equal to 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. In doing the prime factorization, you're going to get 2 cube and 3 square. Now for 108, 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3, which in turn you have to write it as 2 square and 3 cube, because 2 is repeated twice and 3 is repeated twice, thrice. So here 2 cube into 3 square, and it is 2 square into 3 cube. Now you have to find out the HCF. I told you already H. Though H is highest, we are going to take the common numbers, but the smaller. What are the smaller? 2 cube and 2 square. What is the smallest of it? 2 square. So here we are going to take 2 square only. No doubt we use the word highest, but we will be taking the smallest number of those two common. Now 3 square and 3 cube, what is the smallest number? 3 square. So here we are going to take 3 square. 2 square into 3 square. So 4 into 9 is equal to 36, becomes the HCF of 72 and 108. Now for LCM, highest number to be taken, 2 cube and 2 square. 2 cube is highest, so we are taking 2 cube. 3 square into 3 cube, then we are doing. If there is any number which is left over, that also we have to take it. But in this question it is not there, therefore we did not take it. 2 cube into 3 cube is equal to 8 into 27 is equal to 216, becomes the LCM of it. Now only the fifth sum I left it, 306 and 657. Find out the prime factorization, do the prime factorization, and find out the HCF and LCM by taking only the common numbers, children. If you do not have any common numbers, HCF will be equal to 1 and LCM will be equal to product of those numbers. Yeah. So HCF of three consecutive numbers is two consecutive numbers is always one, or HCF of coprime numbers is always equal to one. LCM is nothing but coprime numbers means find out the product of it. If they are having any common numbers, you have to take the highest number for LCM and lowest for HCF. So only one sum which I have given you, fifth sum 306 and 657. This one also to be completed by you in the same model, right? Now, coming to the next question, check whether 6 per n can digit with a this is one more concept, children. I tried to explain in 8th class once. Anyway, now if you know this concept, then 1.3 will be more comfortable to you. Otherwise, it becomes more uncomfortable. So another concept. Now check whether 6 per n can end with a digit 0 for any natural number n. 6 per n means in the place of n we should write any natural number 1. Natural number means 1, you take it 6 per 1, 6 per 2, 6 per 3, 6 per 4, 6 per 5 and so on, any number you take it. Now will it end with a digit 0 in its units place? Suppose 6 per 10 we take, do we get 0 in its units place? That we have to 6 per means multiply the 6 per 10 times and then checking, it is not the correct way. So what we need to do is there will be a formula related to it. For the number 6 per n to end with a digit 0 for any natural number n, it should be divisible by 2 and 5 because 2 and 5 are the prime factors of 10. So units digit must be equal to 0 means it should have 10. So 2 and 5 must be the prime factors of it. If any number which has 2 and 5 as the product of their primes, product of their means 2 and 5 as their factors of a number, then definitely that number that number digits ends with a digit 0 means one's place will be equal to 0. So whenever you want a 0 in its units place, that number must contains 2 and 5. If 2 and 5 are there, then only the 0 comes. In no other case the 0 will be there in a units digit. So here this means the prime factorization of 6 power n should contain the prime numbers 5 and 2. But it is not possible. 6 power n means what? 2 and 3 you have. 2 is there, but 3 is there, but 3 should 3, if it is there also no problem, but 5 must be there too, and 5 are there. Then other than those two numbers, if any numbers are there also no problem. But still, if you do not have 2 and 5, then no number can end with a digit 0. So here 6 per n means do the prime factorization for 6, you are going to get 2 into 3. So 2 is there, but 5 is not there. So 2 is the only prime number in the factorization of 6 per n. Since 5 is not present in the prime factorization, there is no natural number n for which x per n, 6 per n ends with a digit 0. Means 0 రావాలి అంటే ఖచ్చితంగా దానికి 2 and 5 రెండు ఉండాలి. Then only you are going to get 0 in its place. Here 6 has no 5 in their factorization. Therefore, for any natural number n, from 1, even if you take a whole number also 0 also you take 6 per 0 is equal to 1, it will not be equal to 0. Understand? So for any natural number mentioned here, so I have given you a natural number. For no other number mean will give you the 0 in the place of n, right? 6 per n cannot end with the digit 0. There is an example in your textbook. If you have the textbook, you can check it, which is given for 4 per n. 4 per n, what happens? It can be written as 2 into 2 whole per n. Here 2 is present, but 5 is not present. Therefore, 4 per n also cannot be end with a digit 0. So as to end with a digit 0, what should be there? 2 and 5 must be there. Understand? Now, coming to the next one, fourth question. Explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 and 7 into 6 into 5 so into so into so into are composite numbers here. These are two separate questions. First question I did. Now second question you need to do it. So try to understand. You are given 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13. Whatever the common number is there in both, that should be taken common. If two numbers are there, we have to take two numbers. If a single number is there, you have to take that single number. So 13 is a common number, we take 13 common first. After taking common, what happens? 7 into 11 plus into 1. So 13 is taken common. So we can write it as 7 into 11 into 1. And this plus symbol is as it is. As 13 is taken common, 1 will be the remainder. Now 13 into 7 into 11 is equal to 77. 77 into 1 is also 77. 77 plus 1 is equal to 78. So 13 into 78. So first 13 I have written like this. 78 can be written as 2 into 3 into 13. 13 6 is 78. So 2 into 3 into 3. 13. Now 13 into 2 into 3 into 13. What could you write? 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 could be written as 13 into 2 into 3 into 13. Now, according to the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, if any number which is expressed in the form of product of primes, then it is a composite number only. So here we could explain this final result of this is 13 into 2 into 3 into 13, whereas 13, 2, 3 are prime numbers respectively. So if any number was shown as a product of primes, then that number is a composite number. So it could be written in the form of product of primes. So 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 is a composite number. I think all of you understood. Once again, the second one I'm telling you 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5. So you need to take 5 common. When you take 5 common, what happens? 5 into 7 into 6 into 1 into 4 into 3 into 2 plus 1. So you multiply that and add it and write it as a product of primes. If you could express that as a product of primes, then it is also a composite number. No doubt you can express it. Therefore, as it is a composite number, right? So you have to complete this first sum, first one I did, and second one you have to do it. Now, basing on the same concept, next one. How will you show that 17 into 11 into 2 plus 17 into 11 into 5 is a composite number? 17 into 11 into 2 plus 17 into 11 into 5. 17 into 11 is a common number for these two. You will be taking 17 into 11 common. Then what is left remainder here? 2 plus what is remainder here? 5. 2 plus 5. So it is 2 plus 5. 17 into 11 into 7, which is equal to 1309. Now you could express this final value of it as a product of prime. 17 is a prime number, 11 is a prime number, and 7 is a prime number. You could express this as a product of primes. When you could express any number as a product of primes, naturally this is a composite number. So we can prove that it is a composite number. 1309 could be explained as the product of prime number. So it is a composite number. Now coming to the next one, what is the last digit of 6 per 100? Now 6 per 1 is equal to 6. In the previous sum I told you now, if you want a 6, 0 in its units place, it should have 2 and 5. And anyway, it is practical now. 6 per 2 is equal to 36. 6 per 2 means what? 6 into 6 is equal to 36. Now 6 cube, 6 into 6 is equal to 216. 6 per 4, 1296. 6 per 5, again that is also ends with a digit 6. If you carefully observe them, all the units the digits are equal to 6. So we can say that 6 per 100 also will be equal to 6 only. Understand? 6 per any natural number will give you the 6. Right? Understood all of you? So this is about 1.2 exercise. Complete writing it in your classwork. Until unless you are able to understand these two fundamental theorem of arithmetic and explain it in the showing it in the composite number, and next prime numbers should composite numbers 2 and 5. 2 and 5, so as to get a 0 in its units place, it should have 2 and 5. Then if you know these three concepts, you can complete the next exercise also more comfortable. So practice more for it. Thank you.